you're watching Point Blank here at KTN News. And I know many friends of the Prime Minister are watching, as many opponents are also watching. So let me ask him point blank, hii siasa itaenda wapi? Because watu wanataka kujua, baba pale anaingia, aingiagi mchezo. So let me ask mzee 3 things and answer them in the order you want. Number 1, you had a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. Number 2, you went to visit late President Moi and you made up before his death. And number 3, all the NASA people seem to have come back to BBI. So I want to ask you, Mheshimiwa Baba, ni nini umechora? Kwa sababu, this, I have to ask you point blank. So I will start with Kenyatta or Moi, whichever you wish, and then tukuje kwa NASA.
You know, with Uhuru, we had worked together before. Remember, I was the Prime Minister and was my deputy. But even before that, we were together in the Orange against bananas. And he is actually a founder member of ODM. Okay? So we have known each other even longer than that. But our families have got longer historical relationship, starting with Kenyatta and Jomo. Now, we were contestants in the elections, and the country was in a stalemate. Because, as you remember, when we went to court, the court nullified the elections and ordered a repeat, and we did not participate in the repeat. So some people actually have been misrepresenting this, that, oh, I'm saying Uhuru did not win. I've not been saying that. Because it is the other fellows who have been saying, oh, the people refuse to accept defeat. So I've been saying that, no, we did not compete because we didn't run. And then we went and took an oath, and he also took an oath. And then there was a stalemate. And we decided that we needed to resolve this stalemate and bring the country together and create an environment through which there can be engagement and dialogue so that we find a lasting solution to these problems. That was the purpose. With Moi, I went to see him when he was ailing, but I remember I had actually shaken hands with Moi before that time. At that time, I felt that this country needed a constitutional review. And opposition alone could not do it. Neither could KANU alone do it. So he said, let us create a middle ground through which opposition and KANU can come together. That is why we came up with the politics of cooperation among all political parties. That enabled us to start the constitutional review process, appointing the Yashpal Gai Commission. And then now, when he was ailing, I went to see him, and we had twice actually, and we had long conversations, some of which I narrated the other day. And I also said that other day that, you know, Moi came from a very poor background. From the records you have there, in 1936, he was given a cow to take 100 kilometers to go and sell so that he could get money to pay his school fees. You see? So that's why I'm saying, it's truly a hustler.
Not a hustler with a chopper.
Then now,
Wow.
eventually,
Hustler wa siku hizi wako na chopper.
but if you go to where I came from, you know, those mountains in Sacho, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You know, for somebody to come from there and become a teacher, eventually become a president, you know.
Hustler wa siku hizi wanaenda kanisa na milioni 5.
Sasa ambaye anabeba pesa kwa magunia
Na Moi alikuwa na ng'ombe.
Na ng'ombe. Hawa kahasla wamekuwa billionaires within a very short period of time, and they don't want you to ask their source of wealth.
So now Gideon Moi was given a mantle by his brother to try politics. Should he be frightened? Because I'm told he'll join you on Saturday in Meru. Do you think there is anything wrong? Because the allegation was that he should not run because his father was Moi.
No. I mean, I said it there and then straight away that the fact that he is Moi's son does not stop him from running from any position in the country. Moi retired in 2002. That is now 18 years ago. You cannot deny his son an opportunity to also try his own luck in leadership of the country. I think that would be very, very unfair. After all, now Moi is dead. So there's no Moi again behind him to be propelling him.
There's a reason I'm asking you about the Moi factor. Mzee, you said you're going to Eldoret, and there's a perception that Odinga is shutting the door on the Rift Valley, Amabonde, Raufa. But are there friends that you work with in the Rift Valley? I noticed the other day when you were with Nick Salat and the governor, Torgos, and I'm just trying to understand why there is this message. And I know you have had many friends in the Rift Valley over the years. You worked with Henry Kosgei and the late Kipkaria Kones. Is there a feeling that the younger people, maybe in Rift Valley, don't know how you've worked in the Rift Valley previously?
No, I know there are some of the late Johnny-come-latelys in politics who are basically immature and are very much in a hurry to get somewhere.
In 2022.
So as if the world is coming to an end. But I have very many friends among the Kalenjins of the Rift Valley. Very many. And you know, I usually get a lot of support among them. Although sometimes they will say that blood is thicker than water. But that now we have a governor of Marakwet, Tolgos, and Governor Lonyangapuo of West Pokot, all in this. And down here we have got the governor of Narok, Tunai, and governor of Kajiado, Governor Lenku.
So Mheshimiwa, I'm asking you this because you have a broad coalition because of your Kenyatta Odinga alliance and the broader alliance around the country. Should the people of Rift Valley know that they have got comfort in you, so that they don't feel because blood is thicker than water, so you say, that you will forget the Rift Valley? And I say this because that is the issue that is being sold out there, that somehow Odinga is anti-Rift Valley.
No, in the heart of hearts, they know that that is something that is contrived. Because you remember in 2007 elections, I got 90% of votes in the Rift Valley. The Kalenjins, when we were talking about the Mao, then propaganda began by my political detractors that I was basically repaying the Kalenjin through the donkey's kick.
Now, Mheshimiwa, in regard, the other day I was here with Senator Moses Wetangula, the senator of Bungoma, and he had very harsh words after the handshake. He went on the floor of the Senate and he promised to teach you, Odinga, a political lesson. The other day he was here, he told me he now wants to work with you. I don't know whether you have forgiven each other. Have you talked to Wetangula?
Well, I mean, I never wronged each other, so that there's a need for...
Has he taught you a lesson? Or you did?
For forgiveness. I've never known that I had wronged him or that he had wronged me, that required forgiveness. I don't think so.
Do you talk to Wetangula?
Yeah, we talk.
So what about the wider NASA brothers? Are you in conversation? We see rallies, but behind the scenes.
Certainly. I enjoy the best of relationship with Stephen Kalonzo, and you've seen me bringing his greetings to the rallies.
In fact, 3 times you are.
Yes, because this last time round he was in Juba, in that mediation when they were signing that peace agreement, both in Narok and in Garissa. And I conveyed his greetings because he had called me.
What about Musalia? Seems to come one leg in, one leg out.
No, you see,
And this is point blank, Mzee.
Yeah, no. Musalia has just got certain concerns which he expresses, that maybe this is not right way to do it, this is the other way. Like he's very concerned about the debt of the country. He thinks that we have borrowed and that this is going to affect our economic performance in the country. I agree with him, but I think if you look at where the government is coming from, there was a time when all the systems of control collapsed, particularly during the ICC period. I think that is when the rain began to beat them.
Mzee, forgive me for bringing the name of my sister. I know the right huko kwa social media. I brought the name of Charity Ngilu. Charity Ngilu, Alfred Mutua, Kibwana, they have also played a critical role. You and Charity have a very long history from the time of the Pentagon. She has been very, very involved. And I raise that question because you say it's Kalonzo. And Ukambani seems the most united of, I don't know all the regions you've gone to, but to a man, Ukambani seems to be behind BBI and the initiative. So the coming together of Ukambani, what would you say in terms of their involvement with the BBI process, supporting Kenyatta and Odinga?
No, I think we worked very well with the leadership in Ukambani. The governors of the 3 counties are fully behind the BBI. And they have shown it by this meeting we held in Kitui. And Kalonzo Musyoka is also fully behind the BBI. So that has made it...
Now coming, I'll push you through this. Coming to Central Kenya, obviously people have been speculating that you are choosing your prime ministers and your vice presidents, and I know you have not reached that level. So names of Anne Waiguru come. Then you have got, yesterday, all 6 governors have come. What is happening? Do you have coordinators in the region? It seemed to have made up with Anne Mulikuwa Nini. How is that going? How is the wider Mount Kenya? In terms of governance, I have seen all of them seem to be in the BBI process.
Yes, I think that Mount Kenya is coming. I want you to watch Meru and then eventually Nyeri. I think the propaganda is wearing out and the truth is going to emerge.
Let's move to the coast. Your friend Hassan Joho, Kingi, the wider coastal region covering from... How do you feel, how is the coastal momentum from kule baharini?
No, mkoa wa Pwani is one of the most cohesive areas in the country. They're the only ones who talk very strongly about regional government when we went down there. And they're fairly united. They feel that their destiny is intertwined together as one people.
Na nchi ya Ingo, sasa tumetoka kule na watu wa Ingo wanasema nini? Unajua Ingo kuna pande ile ya Wabukusu mzee. Nimeona kule huko na pande governor Angamati, sijui na wengine. Sasa Weta umesema na pande hii na Ingo.
No, Ingo is Ingo is very, very cohesive region. Because when they talk as one people. Going from Trans Nzoia all the way to Busia and Vihiga. They speak one language, and they're very united.
Mzee, it was a miracle, if I say so. Ole Koros called me, the former chairman of all the... Say, Masai land, you never slept. Kulikuwa function ya baba, the function ya Uhuru. Na wewe ukalala huko Masai. Narok. Can you... Watu wanasema wewe ni enigma, lakini hukulala. Masai spoke in one voice.
You see, what happened, what has not been understood. Initially, the meeting was supposed to take place in Suswa, to come up with a Suswa declaration for the Ma nation. Eventually, it was decided to be moved to Narok. When we took it to Narok, then we said it must now include all the communities who live in those counties. And I talked to them. I talked, for example, to the member of parliament for Imura Dekir. But I think there was other undercurrents because they supposedly worked out, but nobody noticed that they worked out. But they had handed in their own memorandum to the meeting, which was eventually incorporated with the others.
Mzee, you seem to be very strong on this thing of women. And you know, Gladys Wanga is here. Atanimaliza, if I don't ask you the question. Ya wanawake, unajua, she's my sister. Where are women in the agenda of this country?
The women are very much in this matter of BBI. And they have been given opportunity to speak. And they're speaking very strongly. One, if you have a president, the vice should be a woman. If you've got a governor, the deputy should be a woman. Of course, very controversial. But that is what it is. There's a debate. Let women speak, and we will take...
Nakuuliza tena point blank. Wanga awaambie. Si ataenda kuwaambia. Mimi nimekuuliza point blank. Wanawake wako ndani ama hapana?
Wako ndani kabisa.
Ataenda kuwaambia. Sasa mzee, mimi najiokoa. Hiyo ni ingine ni yako. Mzee, let me ask you about Kenyatta. And please be as honest as you can. Because people know that Kenyatta is my friend. And they know you're my father. So when they watch Point Blank, they understand. So I'm asking you in that capacity. Have you kept Kenyatta away? Are you keeping him away in Meru? Will he join you in this journey? Is it a strategy? And this is Point Blank.
We are very much together with Mr. Kenyatta. As you know, he's engaged with state matters. So we agreed with him that I will basically facilitate these consultations going forward. But where I can, he will come, he will join. So in Meru, he is invited. So he has the option of coming not coming.
Don't make me laugh on television. Ataandika kwa TV na cheka. He has an option.
Yes.
So he has an option to come.
Yes, in all these functions, he has been invited. But as you know, I always convey his greetings, his message to the people.
Yes.
All the time, because he is in spirit.
Yes.
All the times behind all these meetings.
Yes. Mzee, I want to come to this important matter, and I think to me, it touches me heavily. And I want to talk about forgiveness. And Mzee, you know, having known you for several years, your capacity to forgive. And this is, as we wind up the show, I want to talk about this man, Raila Odinga. And you've had a hard life. And it's not been easy. And I don't think there are many men in this nation who can take a third of the life you've got through. When you look back and you look at history and you read, you were quoting here Churchill, we look back at great and lesser men or greater men. When you look at Odinga, Raila himself, speaking in his own words, not the book he wrote. What makes you have the capacity to forgive and not boast about your suffering?
Tony, life is very short. If you're wasting your time looking at the past, you are misguided, because you cannot unmake the past, but you can correct the future. So we are more concerned with what is coming than what is past. You can be at the times obsessed with hatred, with the feeling of revenge and so on. But that does not help. What is important is to move on and try to work, because you are suffering for a purpose. I've been saying that, when you find yourself in a detention camp, bereft of everything that endears us to life, and surrounded by the conditions that can incite hate and resentment, it is an unequal struggle to capture the spirit of revenge.
Mzee, when you were at the breakfast meeting, you were unable to come when President Moi died. Your son Junior, who is here, was the first one to go to mourn for your family with Gideon Moi at Cabinet Gardens. Mama Aida was the first person I interviewed to give condolences for your family. And they said, we have since made up with the Mois. Is this something that goes beyond Odinga and is within your family? Is it something that you want to live by? And I ask you this because the people who attack you every day attack you by hate. They attack you by insults. And you are yet the one who has sacrificed the most. And they say this program is about bashing Ruto, so be it. My question is this, and I put it to you. This guy, William Ruto, Mzee, has said he's ready to fight you politically. Everybody is here from the Standard Media Group, KTN. Na wewe si mtu ya kwenda hivi. Mimi nitakuuliza tu swali ya mwisho. Unaogopa Ruto?
Tony, before I answer that question, as you know, Moi, in fact, all those we've been through, he came to my daughter's wedding. Then he came to my son's Junior's wedding. And when I met him 2 years ago, the first thing he told me was that, look, I promised Junior a cow, and that cow is here. So he should come to pick it. Okay, that's what I said also at the funeral. See, so we had moved on, and we didn't have many issues with him. Okay, so now, Tony, I don't want to fight people. What for? At my age and me. You see, William Ruto, I went and recruited him and brought him into the movement for change. And actually helped him to sharpen himself and his tactics and so on. So I have nothing against William Ruto. I don't know, why should I fight William Ruto?
Mzee, do you have a last word before I shut the program? Your
What I've been
sir.
telling me is,
Yes, sir.
the cancer of corruption is eating at the fabric of this nation. It is something that we need to cure before we can hope to develop this country. And I want William Ruto to agree to be part of the struggle against corruption other than to stand against it. That is the only thing that people have against him. He does not know the kind of resentment he elicits when he's running around the country with bags and bags of money in the name of being a Christian and being generous because he's donating to God. That is hogwash. And that is an advice that I'm giving him for free.
Do you have a word for Kenyatta before I say goodbye to the country?
No,
Your
Kenyatta.
brother, well, your last word. Mount Kenya, you're going to Kenyatta. We are on air, your last word. And I'll shut the show.
No, I said he is invited to Meru.
Umesikia Kenyatta? Haya.
In fact, he's the one who should be inviting me to Meru. But because he's the one who had asked me to go. Okay, because that is his turf, his home area. And it would be very good if you are there.
Akuja akohoe.
Akuja akohoe. Okay.
Look, Kenya, the Prime Minister Raila Odinga himself, he was talking point blank, and I'm just proud that he was here. Let the people decide. So he says he's going to Mount Kenya, I'll go pee. He says he wants to bring the country together with his brother Uhuru. He says this country is bigger than all of us. And he says you can't live in the past. And Odinga seems, hand on heart, to be talking to the country. This is point blank, and it's KTN News. Mzee, asante sana for coming. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Tony.
Asante sana, Baba.
Asante sana.
Baba. Asante. You're watching KTN News.
No one can stop reggae.
Oh.
Point Blank by TG was filmed on location at the Nairobi Serena Hotel.